Right, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we're going to be playing the most sold, best-selling Call of Duty game of all time in 2025. And as you can see on your screen, maybe shock horror to some of you, but it's MW 2019 as the most sold Call of Duty game, best-selling Call of Duty game of all time, or at least in both dollar revenue and unit sales for just any Call of Duty game. And this is there's some data to back this, and I'll share this with you on the screen at some point. But this is all the way dating back from January 1995 to July 2025, this entire data. So this does compete with your Black Ops 1s, your Black Ops 2s, all of these classic great Call of Duty games. And they don't beat this. Your favorite Call of Duty game, which I don't know, maybe some of you, obviously your favorite Call of Duty could be MW 2019. But I know this isn't going to be many people's popular opinion. I don't know. It depends. I think we're in that era now where there's some people who grew up with MW 2019 being their first Call of Duty. We're sort of in a little bit of a mixed era now where people who played the older Call of Duty games maybe don't like so much the modern games. And I'm kind of one of those people. I'm a little bit, I preferred the older to the new. But there's people who have now grown up with the new, maybe have only ever known like slide cancelling, skill-based matchmaking, you name it, crossplay, all these things that have happened with Call of Duty. But we're going to play MW 2019 today and talk about this more and talk about, does this necessarily make this the best Call of Duty of all time then? Obviously, that's an opinion that's going to be very, some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree. Do I think this is the best Call of Duty of all time? Absolutely not. But I also want to see like whether people actually do believe this is the best Call of Duty of all time, and maybe those sales do reflect that, or whether or not that's just a bit more, there was a little bit of hype going on, obviously. But we'll talk about that more in a second. But I'll flash it on your screen now whilst we do actually find a lobby, and this is on Xbox Series X, by the way. Obviously, I am using crossplay as well. I have turned on crossplay just to make sure I could find a lobby. If I had Xbox only, I don't imagine I'd find a lobby. But if you want to test that, guys, let me know. But all time, here it is on your screen anyway. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 is the best-selling Call of Duty game on the PlayStation platform in the US in both dollar revenue and unit sales. And again, this data ranges from January 1995 to July 2025. But as you can see, GTA 5 is number one, no surprises there. Number two is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 for the dollars revenue. But it also is the top Call of Duty game in the units as well in number 5. But you can see there's some pretty big hitters still up here, which I'm quite surprised at. Like Black Ops 2 is 12th. Black Ops 2 is still 12th in an all-time PlayStation list from data from 1995. I think that's kind of insane, but there's also some interesting games missing off that list. The original MW2, original MW3, all not up there, which I find quite interesting. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about actually MW 2019 itself. A very interesting Call of Duty. First of all, the Call of Duty, which we'll speak about first, brought upon crossplay, which a lot of people were excited for, including myself. I don't think anyone could sit there and say that we weren't excited for it. It sounded good on paper, right? Being able to play with people on PlayStation whilst you're on Xbox, and vice versa with PC and stuff. But it's safe to say this has caused a lot more issues than it has like good for Call of Duty nowadays. It's very weird as well, not playing with a field of view slider, and the slide cancelling is not as responsive as I remember it. At least, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I also didn't play this map, so I don't know. I have no idea about this map. I literally did not play. I played Ground War mainly in this game, so this map's going to be a bit of an interesting one for me. I might do terribly. I'm not gonna lie. This is first game back on as well, so this could go terribly. As you can see, I have no idea what I'm doing, if I'm honest. It's a weird feeling to go back and play this game. It feels responsive in a way of like the game feels smooth in that, but like actual slide cancelling feels really odd. I thought it was more responsive. I thought this was the most responsive Call of Duty when it came to slide cancelling, but clearly it isn't as responsive as I felt it was. Maybe I've got to mess with a few settings I haven't like changed or something. I don't know, but yes, this game brought upon crossplay. Both could be good, both could be bad. I'm sure most people are going to say bad for the series, which is unfortunate because on paper it is a good idea. At the same time, as I've just walked past one, door mechanics being brought to the game. I also just got shotgunned by the, I cannot remember what that shotgun is called, but that was the absolute bane of my existence in this game. But yeah, also dead silence as a field upgrade, and footsteps were incredibly loud. And yeah, like I said, the bashing of doors and stuff. The quick time to kill in this game as well. But the game visually was stunning. Let's be honest, right? MW 2019 was a very good looking game. Like I can't hate it on visually. I kind of wish Call of Duties would look like this normally. But unfortunately, they don't. You know, we have what we have. They've kind of, I'd say they've been a downgrade since, and we're just getting shotgunned all the time at the moment, which is kind of frustrating. I'm not going to lie. But maybe that was one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy this game so much. Like I said, I played MW 2019, but I mainly played Ground War. I was very big on the Ground War. I wasn't going to do Ground War for this video just because it's very long getting a Ground War gameplay. Jesus, my aim is terrible. Either that or it's just awful, like, connection-wise. I don't know, because I didn't feel like I was getting great bullet reg there. But oh well. We continue, we move, we continue. But the maps in this game, were they good? Were they bad? That's for you guys to decide. I'm going to go with more on the bad side. I didn't really preferably like them. The whole doors thing and stuff. Obviously, the being able to sound haul people from miles away was not helpful either. I feel like I'm moving like a truck, though, in this game. I'm not going to lie to you. But I also think that's because of the lack of field of view slider. So we're used to now being able to change our field of view slider, at least on console, to 120 FOV. Oh yeah, this game is definitely lagging. Okay, it's definitely lagging, right. I'm not crazy. I am playing on a pretty poor server here. I don't know what I need to do to change get the ping reader up, but clearly this is a laggy lobby, so we're not too great on the connection front here. But you know, we'll continue. It's not a great game experience when you're playing on a game like this, but this increased your field of view a little bit when you used to put on Dead Silence, which was nice. But yeah, it's a very odd game to go back and play. Like it just feels slow and a bit sluggish, but I do think that's because of the lack of field of view slow, which thankfully we have nowadays. That is a great thing that we do have now. But yeah, this game also brought upon skill-based matchmaking, very, very thick skill-based matchmaking, which, yes, it was in previous games and then got taken away. I believe Black Ops 4 was before this game and didn't have skill-based matchmaking. So this game also brought upon skill-based matchmaking. Like there's a lot in my eyes that would be negative for the series that this game brought upon. And I think you guys would agree. Like I said, the crossplay hasn't been a great feature so far because the anti-cheat isn't doing a great job of stopping those from cheating. This having no field of view slider, the fixed skill-based matchmaking. There's a lot to this game that I think would make it a not so likable game. But ultimately, it's there. It's at the top of the list of the best selling Call of Duty, best revenue Call of Duty game of all time. So what could be the reason for that? The only thing I can think of, and you guys might agree with me here, is this game obviously has a skewed reputation, or representation, at least I think so anyway, due to Call of Duty Warzone. And we'll briefly talk about, obviously, this game came out during the era of, well, MW 2019 came out just before COVID, right? And then COVID happened and everyone was indoors and there wasn't a lot you could do, right? Basically everyone was playing video games, right? There was nothing else to do but play video games, and video games was a big massive boom from it. There was so many people playing like Call of Duty, you name it, maybe probably even FIFA, stuff like that. Any sort of game that had a multiplayer online at that time, if you came out with a game just before COVID, it was going to do wonders. And I think Call of Duty, and especially this game, massively benefit from that. And the proof is out there now with those figures that show exactly how well this game did. And maybe this affected Call of Duty in general in the future, because Activision obviously probably saw that and thought, well, they should be basing the ideas of Call of Duty and everything about it with this game for future releases. And I don't think that's worked out for them too much. Like I said, the crossplay hasn't done too well. The fixed skill-based matchmaking has definitely turned people away. The map designs in Call of Duty, like, I don't think the maps in this game were considered good. But, like, again, when Activision sees sales and revenue through the roof, they're going to think otherwise, you know? And I think MW 2019 did that job of making Activision believe this game was a lot better for the series and was the way the series should have went or should be going based off of what they've seen. And my personal experience with this game, like I said, I don't hate it, but I didn't massively enjoy it. I think it did a lot of good, like the events, the camo rewards, stuff like that. There was a lot of good in the game. I think the events every month and stuff, the battle pass was done very well, I think. I think the rewards were good in this game. That's why it was a joy to actually get on and like grind the game. Like, I think people enjoyed hopping on to unlock new stuff. The seasons were really done well, like the Halloween event for Call of Duty Warzone and stuff. Again, Call of Duty Warzone, when it dropped on here, was incredible, right? Obviously, that's not MW 2019, but it does take, of course, MW 2019's like movement, the way the game functions, the gameplay, the mechanics, you name it. So it was sort of an extension of the game, which did breathe new life to the game. It was well done as well in the fact that it came out, you know, luckily before COVID and like halfway through the game cycle, or at least 1/3 of the way through, because then that, of course, made there a new element to the game. It gave new life to the game. And I think genuinely this game wasn't the best Call of Duty of all time. Nowhere near it. But I think it gets that representation and had its rep built a little bit because of Warzone. And I think people bought this game because of playing Call of Duty Warzone, because they were able to get it for free. And obviously there was leveling up weapons that was made easier through buying and owning Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, etc. But I do think this series, this game, did bring a lot of bad to Call of Duty that is still being reflected today with the crossplay, with the fixed skill-based matchmaking, and many other issues at the moment that exist in Call of Duty today. But I'm interested for you guys to let me know, like, what do you think about MW 2019 being the best-selling, best revenue Call of Duty game of all time? Do you agree? Like, obviously, you can't really disagree with it. It's a fact, but it's not the best Call of Duty game in my opinion. But do you guys think it is? Do you think the revenue kind of showcases what MW 2019 actually was to people? Maybe my opinion's just completely wrong. Let me know down below. I'm interested to hear some takes on this. But yes, we have done it. We have played successfully as well, quite easily as well, found a game. Did have crossplay on as well, though. MW 2019 in the year 2025 here on Xbox. We're able to play, obviously, with PlayStation players, PC players. Wasn't any cheaters as well, which was good. But like I said, one game sample. I imagine there's probably cheaters on here. I can't imagine they'd be banning them either. But yes, guys, let me know what you think down below. Call of Duty MW 2019. Most sold, best-selling Call of Duty game of all time. Does it make it the best Call of Duty of all time? I want to hear some opinions down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe notifications on. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.